Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a paid advertising. TheOnlyGround.com, onlyground.com is one of the most amazing places for information that I consistently go to. If you guys want to have conversations about our old interviews or even topics that we don't discuss, the group of people that are on the onlyground.com message boards are some of the most brilliant that I have ever come across. Those little like knick-knack facts that we get here and there, that's where a lot of it comes from. Please check out the link in the bio.
Welcome to the show. I am MMA insider and Herb Dean's dog sitter, Joey Venti, and you're listening to the MMA History Podcast, the only podcast dedicated 100% to the preservation of mixed martial arts history. Interviews and stories about the early days of MMA direct from the men who lived it. Hundreds of interviews, thousands of hours of research, all conducted by the most obsessed mind in the business, the MMA detective Mike Davis. Join us as we document the history of the sport we all love. Welcome back to the MMA History Podcast. I am Joey Venti. I'm with the host of the show, Mike Davis. He is the MMA detective. I am Herb Dean's dog sitter, and we've got a special episode for you today. Today's guest was a two-time All-American wrestler, a member of the Serra Longo team, a UFC veteran who tasted victory on the biggest stage, and the winner of The Ultimate Fighter Season 19. Welcome to the show, Eddie Truck Gordon.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate you.
All right, first we got to give thanks to our mutual friend, Nick Lamagna from the A-Game podcast. He's the one that lined us up. I've been hearing he's been a friend of yours for quite a long time.
Nicky Knuckles, man. Dude, let me tell you something. Not many human beings on this planet is as awesome as him. Great dude, great person. Just can't say enough about him. He's an amazing human being. So that's my guy.
Man, I agree. He's lined us up with several interviews. I don't have a lot of contacts on the East Coast, and I'd say about 99% of our East Coast interviews have all come by way of him. Let's talk about yourself. Start from the beginning. Was mixed martial arts always a dream of yours, or did it happen accidentally?
Oh, man, you hit on the head. It definitely happened accidentally. My story is a little bit different than most. I thought I'd be a football guy, right? I thought I'd be playing in the NFL, playing on Sundays, and you couldn't tell me nothing. As a kid growing up, teachers, they always ask you what you want to be. And when you say professional athlete, they always tell you, no, pick something else. But I was locked in. I was like, I'm going to be a professional football player. Didn't work out for me. I played at the highest level, played Division I college ball. I was vertically challenged. So, when NFL came knocking, they kind of, they weren't knocking as hard as I wanted to. And I went to corporate America, worked for JP Morgan, did some finance and stuff like that. And it just wasn't for me, man. I was missing something. Like my life wasn't complete. People on the outside thought that I was doing well and I was doing great. And I literally went to UFC 101, saw Anderson Silva beat Forrest Griffin, and I was hooked. And at that point, I was fat, overweight, out of shape. And it was crazy because I told everybody I was with ringside, I'm like, yo, I could do this. And they said they did exactly what you just did. They laughed. They said, no way in the world. It's the Red Bull and vodka talking. You're out of your mind. You can't do it. But one dude in that arena, in that building, my mentor, Matt Serra, believed in me, man. And he gave me an opportunity. And the rest is history.
Wow. So, one of the things that they would always mention about you when you fought in the UFC was that you were teammates with Chris Weidman. How long has your relationship been with Chris? Like, how far back does it go?
I want to say forever, man. I've known Chris literally since middle school. We did the wrestling circuit together. So when you do freestyle wrestling, you're not just wrestling for your school, you're kind of wrestling for New York State. So Chris's dad took us all around, man. We went upstate, we went to Brockport, went everywhere. So we wrestled together. And I literally ran into Chris at a regular local gym when he was on the local circuit, the Ring of Combat circuit. And I was like, what are you doing? And he told me he was doing mixed martial arts. I was like, funny thing you say that. I told a couple buddies that I can do this, and they all laughed at me. And Chris didn't laugh, man. He told me to come down, and I literally walked into Serra Longo at Ray's gym and got my ass handed to me. Hand it to me. I remember like yesterday, I walked into the gym and I do what everybody does, right? I want to be a fighter. Ray looked at me and probably thought I heard this 1,000 times. And he put me in there with Costa Filippo,
Oh,
Gian Vellante, and Chris because they were training. They needed another guy to wrestle. And at that point, I probably was like three and some change. And I'm talking about I got my ass handed to me that day, and I was hooked ever since.
okay. So you wrestle with Chris. So what weight did you wrestle at in college?
And I wrestled in high school with Chris. I played football in college, but in high
Mhm.
school, I was 215, and I believe Chris wrestled 189.
So your fighting weight was lower than your high school wrestling weight.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, it's just nuts. Nuts.
Oh, there's a few like Frankie Edgar fell into that category. There's a
Yeah.
couple guys that were just like,
I
wait,
love Frankie.
what?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And the craziest thing is that after I finished wrestling in high school, I said I would never cut weight again. I had I, I said like that was it. I was like, I don't want to do nothing with it. And I literally had offers to wrestle in college, but in my mind, I didn't know about mixed martial arts. So I was like, there's no money in it, right? I was a struggling kid. My family was Jamaican immigrants. All we knew was hard work. And, I'm not going to be one of these guys that tell you I was the most talented guy in the world because I wasn't, right? Like Ray will tell you, I was probably one of the slowest starters out of the whole crew. I could barely pick my leg up when I started doing it, but I just outworked people, man. Like it was just a mindset I had. I was going to find a way to get it done.
All right, so you did not wrestle in college.
Did not wrestle in college. I played football, so I thought I was done. I thought I was literally done. I was All American. I wrestled freestyle Greco. I went to Fargo, so that was
Okay,
my
so
thing.
you were all American in high school.
High school, yeah,
That
yes,
gets
not,
lost. That
yeah,
gets lost
not,
in the shuffle.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So, and that was my foundation. So that was literally my foundation. I didn't throw a punch until I was 27 years old, man.
All right. So you're wrestling in high school. Weidman, obviously you guys are friends. Is there anybody else from like your group that dabbles in the MMA as well?
So it was Jay Hieron, like that was almost like
Oh,
our guy.
stud.
So
Another
Jay's
stud.
the man. We went to the same high school. Jay wrestled 96 pounds. 96, yeah, crazy, crazy. And Jay
Fought
was
170. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. But he was like a stud. He's probably one of the best wrestlers coming out of Freeport. And we had, you know, Tennessee NCAA national champions. But he was just a guy that worked his butt off, used mixed martial arts to change his life. So between him and Chris, that's all I really knew of it. And at that point, I really didn't know much, right? You only see the highlights. Mixed martial arts wasn't as big. UFC was kind of it. So it was interesting. It was rolling the dice to say the least, leaving a six-figure paying job to fight for like $500 in a warehouse. Many
Yeah.
people, many people would like, dude, you're out of your mind. But it's something inside of you that you can't really tell people unless they understand it. If you know, you kind of get it.
Yeah. So like when you look at the guys that you've like here, we've had L.I. Anton, we've had Pete Cell. Those guys are kind of guys that lean into fighting. Like if you're at a bar and they think somebody might have a problem, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna hope it does exist. Chris Weidman doesn't seem like that type. Am I off on that, on my
Let me
perception?
tell you, Chris has a switch. Like, let me tell you something. I think the world don't understand how great he really is, and that's saying a lot. Like,
Somewhat disrespected, for sure.
like no doubt. And it's like
Without question. Yeah.
if you look at his resume, it's unheard of. He's fought the best of the best of the best. So happen to be a bunch of Brazilians, but like he is just there's something about him that you can't. It's not flashy. It's just methodical and pressure, and you can't understand it until you train with the dude. Because in my eyes, I was like, "Pfft," like if Chris is doing well, I'm gonna be the man, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just he's phenomenal. And you want to talk about amazing fighter, even better human being. Like that dude
Okay,
changed
but
my life.
street fighting.
Yeah.
Can you associate street like Pete Cell? Oh yeah, L.I. Kenta for sure.
Listen, I'm not gonna tell any Chris Weidman stories, but I can see a couple street fights in his
Really?
listen, you gotta have a switch. Listen, for you to go to a cage and lock yourself into a cage, man, there's got to be a couple screws loose with us, right?
For
Like,
sure.
like there's got to be. And
For
listen,
sure.
Chris is not going to be a guy that picks a fight, but he's not going to walk away from one either. Like if you're going to challenge him, like he's gonna stand on his principles, and that's why the dude's a world champion, one of the baddest men on the planet.
That's fantastic. All right. So you wind up over at Ray Longo and Matt Serra's gym. What was your first impression of Matt? He's got a pretty big personality.
Dude, let me tell you something. What you see is what you get with
I
Matt.
like that. I like that.
What you see is what you get. You're gonna
Yeah.
always know where you stand with him. And like honestly, it's corny, it's cheesy when you hear like mixed martial arts changed my life, it saved my life. Like we all got demons, we all go through ups and downs. And fighting was an outlet. Like I'm talking about, I was a 350-pound dude. My first fight, I had to cut down weight and go to heavyweight. I had to make weight for heavyweight. And like it saved my life. But Matt and Ray, like they are genuinely like good people. They're not trying to get rich off of you. They're not trying to milk you for every dime. They're literally in it to see you change your life for your family. When I went to them, I already had 2 kids. I was married. I had Irish twins that are 11 months apart. I used to bring my kids to the gym. Like they were welcoming. It wasn't, it was like, it was so, I can't even describe it. I'm getting like choked up even thinking about it. Like they welcomed me in with open arms. And I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. It was based off the fact I knew Chris and Ray vouched me, and it was like they
That was it.
knew that
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 was
was it.
enough. That was
That was
enough.
enough. And like I owe them so much that I can never ever pay them back.
Okay, what are you doing now?
So now it's I got the itch, right? So I was able to transform my life, with weight loss and fighting. So I kind of do what most fighters do, open up a gym. It's not a
Okay.
fighting gym. It's more of a family gym, right? So the name of the gym is Fit Fam, fun, intense training family, right? So everything I hated about the regular commercial big box gym, I got rid of. I don't do no contracts. I want you to come in here, get healthy, get in shape, not just to look good, but to change your life. So I was a Division 1 football player, stud athlete in high school, got out of shape, got fat, overweight because corporate America took over my life, right? So I want to show people that it's not about being a professional athlete. You can train, you can get in shape, you can get fit, and you can do it for life. Not just for a competition. It's about a lifestyle. So that pleasure that I got losing the weight, I give it to people. Before COVID, I did a bunch of motivational speaking to Fortune 500 companies, going around New York City, talking to these kids because I was that kid, right? I was a Jamaican immigrant, came in, I was 3 years old, could barely speak, proper English, got made fun of, bullied, teased, like, so when some kids see you walk through the door and you can tell them your story, like, you can change your life. And I'm a big believer in if you make it to the pros, yeah, great, haha, but it's about using sports, whatever sport it is, as a vehicle to make your life better. So
It's
that
discipline. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
said the magic word, discipline. It's not motivation, it's discipline. I don't
Yeah.
like saying I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a disciplined speaker, right? I talk to you and try to create habits on how you can create success. It's not going to be given to you. If you think it's going to be handed to you, that's the wrong attitude. So I've been very, very fortunate to surround myself with great people and be able to pick their brains and have different mentors, um, and to change my life because you can't get punched in the face for a living. You can't do that forever.
No, 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 you can't. So your career starts January 5th, 2010. Was there anything prior to that?
There was nothing. So I literally had 3 amateur fights, and then I
Okay,
jumped right
but
into the
but
ring.
there's no, because I know mixed martial arts was illegal in your area and they were doing like illegal
I did nothing,
smokers.
man. I did no smoker shows. I did nothing, man. It was literally I grew up fast. I grew up literally in the gym with some killers. Like we had a bunch of guys on the cusp of the UFC. At that point, Chris wasn't in UFC yet. He was on the Ring of Combat. Costa Falupu was probably one of the best boxers, best strikers ever in the UFC.
Dude, he hits when he hits, it's so mean.
Mean,
It's
mean.
just it's mean with bad intention. Costa Filippo, like, no, dude, it's a different kind of pain.
And dude, like people don't understand. People don't know his story. Like this guy, he is a savage, and he walked away. I think he was still ranked in the top 10. He just walked away. He walked away and he
Yeah.
got a job in corrections, and he was like, it was he got what he wanted out of mixed martial arts, and a lot of us fighters, we get addicted to that light, right?
Yeah.
We get addicted to that crowd, and it's super hard to walk away, and it's it's a drug that you can't.
Yeah.
It's a drug. It's a
It,
drug.
I listen. My amateur boxing experience pales in comparison to the levels that you had, but the high you get from a fight, it's got to be more powerful than any type of drug you can get on the street.
No doubt about it. And the like, and it's like you
Yeah.
get lost in time. Like I remember, like when you're in the moment, when you're locked in, and you found you're in that zone. It's like you lose track of time. You don't. People are like, did that hurt? Like hurt? Like you're not even thinking about that. Like it's just something that you can't explain. I truly believe that every human being should have one fight. Like it doesn't have to
Oh
be it
yeah,
doesn't have to be like a special. It could be headgear, whatever it is. But you should be going in there with the referee, with one other human being, and just compete. And it should be matched up. But that should be like mandatory.
man.
Because it
E-
literally sets you up for life.
Eddie, to get punched in the face in an environment that's safe, in a safe environment, it's one of the greatest gifts you could ever give to somebody.
Facts, facts. And if people hear us talk about that, they think we're out of our minds. They think we're out of our
But no,
minds.
it's true. It's true. Like, like those mental games, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, or if this happens, I would have done it. Those little pretend games that they're playing in their mind. All those answers, you get answers to those questions
Yeah,
in real time.
in real time. And that's like, and I tell people all the time, who you are comes out when you're in a cage, in a ring. If you're a timid, shy guy, you're gonna be a timid, shy fighter. If you're a savage, you're a savage. But there's the one thing is there is no hiding. There's no
No.
finger pointing, there's no blaming. And this is why I have a rule. If I know somebody that's fighting, there is no human way possible of going to a bar or going anywhere and watching, because that is the worst experience ever. Because you hear people chirping around and this guy sucks and this, and you're just like, dude, you have no idea. You have no idea what it takes to, like most human beings. If you have a fight and some kid is telling you in school, meet me after school, you're in class, you can't focus the rest of the day. Your day is ruined. All you're thinking about is that bell at the end of the class and that guy kicking your butt. Now imagine having 8, 6, 12 weeks knowing that there's another dude training that's gonna try to take your head off to put food on his family's table. What demons play through your ear? What good and bad angels on your shoulder? So if you
Yeah.
couldn't cut it with no one to want to fight you at the end of class in school, imagine another man training, another woman training to take your head off in front of millions of people, and it's a time, there's a date, there's a weight, there's a schedule. There is nothing like that. And you got to be a little bit twisted to find joy in that painful process.
No, for sure. For sure. So I got your first fight. It's an amateur fight. It's June 5th, 2010, Ring of Combat 8. It's their amateur side. What
Correct.
was it like dealing with Lou Neglia?
Lou Neglia, I love Lou, man. Honestly, man, Lou is, we hit it off, right? We hit it off. And I remember going to Lou's house to pick up tickets for the fight. And when he gave me the tickets, I was like, I need more. And he looked at me like, who's this fat, chunky kid? You need more. Like, who does this kid think he is? And I was like, let me tell you something. I'm gonna pack the place. And people always talk the talk, but when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And
You were a ticket seller right
oh,
away?
dude, forget about it. My tickets, dude, I'm a businessman, man. I went to school for marketing and business finance from Fordham University. Like I packaged deal. I had buses, tickets, T-shirts. I had 2 professional football players. All my buddies come down. So like, dude, it was rocking. That was probably the craziest amateur show to date. I don't think they're gonna beat. Like it was nuts, and it was cool. Man, I had a Hall of Fame football player, my boy DeBrickashaw Ferguson, come down to my fight, and he brought 2 of his teammates. So it was crazy. It was wild. So it was a good energy and good vibe, and I was absolutely addicted and hooked from that moment on. and it didn't go the way I thought. In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna go knock this dude out. It's gonna be a storybook ending. I remember Ray Longo telling me, "Take it easy, don't go crazy." I'm like, I've been training for this. The first 30 seconds, I think I blew my load. I
The
literally
adrenaline dump. Adrenaline dump.
oh, adrenaline dump was insane. I remember I remember like it was yesterday, running to the cage, grabbing the dude. At that point, I think the fight was heavyweight. I might have suplexed this dude 3 times. And like it was crazy. The crowd was going nuts. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this kid he wouldn't quit. The guy wouldn't quit. I gotta give him credit. And but it was nothing like it. It was like being exhausted and just being in there with another man trying to take your head off. Dude, it was awesome.
So it was
It was
Mark
awesome.
García was your first opponents there.
Yes, yes. Yep. Like it was, dude, it was great, man. And
Oh, wait, hold on. Did Lou count the tickets for D'Brickashaw and his teammates, or did he make them pay?
yo, listen, man. Lou didn't even know they were coming. Lou didn't comp it. I'm a horrible friend. I sold tickets to my buddies, but listen, that's what real friends do, right? They support you because that's how we make our money. So I got to give Brick credit. Brick didn't ask for free tickets.
He asked for GAs. He said, "Give me some GA tickets."
Exactly. So
Count me up
yeah,
when I get there. Yeah.
yeah, it was cool, man. Like it was definitely a memorable, life-changing moment, man.
That's wild, man.
And nothing. I tell you what, this is gonna sound crazy. I compare that first fight to winning the Ultimate Fighter, fighting at the Mandalay Bay. I think they're neck and neck. And it sounds nuts. People can't probably understand that, but nothing's like your first. And there's no guarantees, right? When you're a fighter, there are literally no guarantees. No matter how good you think you are or or how popular you think you are, like there are no guarantees. Everything has to fall in line and to get to the highest level. And literally it it's crazy because people don't understand the sacrifice that it takes to get to that level.
Yeah.
People don't understand that
Yeah.
I watch fights and the worst guy on the UFC roster is a savage. The worst, the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom is a world champion somewhere. Is
In
it?
his neighborhood. Yeah, he's definitely the regional champ. Yep.
And people can't understand that. And it's like when you hear people talk, it's just like most people can't even take diet for 2 weeks, let alone for 6 to 8 weeks. Most people can't stick to a simple regimen like get up, go to the gym. Nobody gonna punch you in the face afterwards, and you can't do that 3 times a week, let alone 4 times a week, let alone
What did you weigh in at
when my, my
first fight
highest, my highest when I stepped on the scale was probably 345, 350.
for your first fight? What did
Oh,
you
for
weigh
my
in at?
first, I fought 265 my first fight.
Oh, so you went from 350.
350 down. Like it's like I'm like when I was telling you, like I wasn't joking when I said I couldn't pick my leg up. Like when I started mixed martial arts, all I was a straight wrestler. I didn't know how to throw a punch. I didn't know how to throw a kick. I literally was just a straight football player and wrestler. So in my mind, right, I'm like I played D line at Division I football, so I had to
You
get as
needed that
big and as
size.
heavy as
Yeah.
possible. So when you stop playing football, right, you're still eating like you're playing football. I was at JP Morgan. I was eating lunch, dinner, breakfast, dessert, snacks out. Like I can't even imagine the amount of I probably was consuming 10, 12,000 calories. I was probably a hamburger away from a heart attack. Like I was ginormous. I was a big dude. Um, and that's why I say like mixed martial arts like saved my life. When I got into it, nobody believed me. They're like, dude, you're fat, you're overweight, you're out of shape, and you're old. Like there's no where do you go? Like
You're
what?
checking all the boxes.
Yeah, I like you're checking all the wrong boxes,
Yeah,
right? Like it's
yeah.
they were like my closest friends to me like laughed. They were like, dude, like you're not just gonna come off the couch and like do this. And they didn't understand the mindset that I had. Like if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna find a way to get it done. And that's what made me successful in life. Like that's what kind of separated me apart. Like I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the fastest, I wasn't the most skillful. Like no, like I was gonna find a way. I beat a lot of guys that were better fighters than me, but not a better fighter than me.
All right. Okay. Well, you one of the unsung heroes from Matt Serra and Ray Longo, like their little group of people, is Erik Hyer. He doesn't get enough
Facts.
credit.
Facts. Erik is my guy. Like I always make sure that anytime I do an interview, anytime I did anything, I always shout him out because he's a special breed of human. Like he is unreal. He literally took a fat, overweight, out of shape dude that didn't know his ass from his elbows and turned me into a feared striker. Like it got to the point that dudes would take me down. Like to the point like he worked with me countless, countless hours and never asked for anything besides a hug, man. Like that like you can't like there's not people like the Serra Longo team. Like when I say in it to see you be successful, in it because it's a family, like we didn't go out there and recruit anybody. Everybody was in a geographical, demographical area. It was like location. We weren't like a American top team where you fly dudes in, guys come and they import them. No,
Yeah.
like everybody was in knowing each other from high school or lived in a town over. It was like, dude, you're a tough dude. Come check this out. Like that's the family that we had. And to create three world champions, four now, and Ultimate Fighter champion, Al being a finalist, fighting Khabib for the championship. Like there's so many savages and killers that was just friends. It's unheard
Dude,
of.
so like we I mean, I'm not trying to repeat things from past podcasts, but yeah, you've got your gym where guys kind of come in, come out, they hop around, and then you've got like your poachers that just are big game hunters, that just pull in fighters that other people have developed. And then like the rarest of the three is white belt to champion.
Yeah.
That is the absolute rarest of the three, and that's an actual coach.
Facts.
And dude, on the sideline, I'm like, oh no, Serra Longo, yeah, they got some tough guys because it's New York, but they're poaching. No, they're not, dude. Those
Yeah.
are all homegrown champions, dude. I think what Marab, he came over, but he came over really early in his career.
Marab came over. Marab came over from another country. Like so that's just even better. He literally moved to New York and he was literally like here. And he like to watch him have the success he has is amazing. You want to talk about hard worker? Like I remember this dude coming to the gym after working construction and just being the most humblest, hardworking human being. And he literally made his biggest attribute, it sounds crazy, is his gas tank because he would just outwork you. He would outwork you. If you got to literally kill this dude, like what people don't understand, you have to literally kill him to stop him.
All right. So you just kind of said the key word right there. He's working construction and then coming here. He's still developing.
Yeah.
Those other teams, you mentioned American Top Team. Obviously, they're one where 90% of the people that work out there, it's invite only, but 90% are coming with a contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
To where you guys, Serra Longo doesn't have that. Like I've got a profound amount of respect for that team, just based on just the totality of what they've put forth from where the people came from.
You said it best, man. I never heard this like that. Literally white belt to champion. It's crazy. Like
Groomed
groomed.
into a champion.
Yeah, it's literally and like you see guys bouncing from gym to gym to gym like
Very
that's not
rare. Very rare
like
what you guys are doing. Yeah.
it's crazy and that makes it so much better, right? Like if you look at how many guys in this planet is ever gonna win a world championship, how many guys ever in this planet is gonna win an Ultimate Fighter championship, how many guys in this planet is ever gonna fight for a championship? It ain't
Phew.
less than 1%.
Poof.
And for it
1%
to
of 1%. Yeah.
and for it to come out of
1%
such
of
a
the UFC.
yeah, exactly. Let alone the world. Like it's so hard. But when it's done and you make it look so easy, and when Matt says this guy's gonna be a champion, Ray says this guy's gonna be a champion, they're 100%. Like they
But
were
there's also
100.
mental components that you're taking somebody from day one. Hey, mom, thanks for dropping me off. No. Now I got to move some gears around to make you understand that you're going to be a world champion. Like
It's
it's
huge.
different. It's different.
Coaching at its finest. And I'm
Dude.
telling you right now, you're going to hear it on this podcast. There's another champion that's coming out of Serra Longo, and I'm guaranteeing it. Phumi Nkuta will be the bantamweight champion. He can fight for the belt tomorrow, and he'll win it. I don't know what and who cereal he pissed in that he's not in the UFC right now, but the kid is unreal.
Where's he at? Where's he fighting at?
He fights all over the place. He just keeps collecting belts. He won a belt at LFA. He won a belt in Ring of Combat. He does commentating. He's even doing WWE wrestling right now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not too familiar with the wrestling world, but like, dude, the kid is phenomenal, and I can't even believe that the UFC is not coming knocking yet. He checks every single box, and he will be. It's a matter of time.
Homegrown talent.
Homegrown talent. He literally came into the gym. He was a wrestler. He literally lived in the gym. I hope I'm not blowing up his story too much, but he lived in the gym. And you want to talk about a nice, amazing kid. Now he literally works there. He's one of the instructors. So it's like homegrown. Another one. So like in 3, 4, 5 years, like you're gonna see. I'm guaranteeing it. I'm guaranteeing it.
Serra Longo, all they do is reload.
It's crazy. It's absolutely,
like it's a super gym. Like look at the other super gyms. All right, Shamrock. That Militich comes to an end. It's like there's very few of those like original gyms that are even still around today.
No, you're right.
Still reloading. You
know why though? Because it's a family, right? You can't get rid of your family.
That's wild.
If you can't get rid of your family, right? You got a tough kid. So for instance, we had 2 kids that were grown up in the gym. I'm talking about little babies. Their dad was just a member of the gym. Dude just won a state championship in Long Island, in New York. That kid's probably going to fight. His dad's fighting, and it's a family business now, right? So I have 6
rite of passage.
It's just like you see when you come into the gym as a little kid in a car seat, and you're just watching it. You're learning subconsciously how to work hard. And you just get that itch. And next thing you know, you got the base. Because wrestling, listen, you can argue and fight. Wrestling is the best base for mixed martial arts.
100%.
Like, if anybody says no, then they're out of their mind. Like you'll have a freak like a Pereira who's just a freak of nature.
It's one dude.
One exactly, like one out of, and like people was like, oh wait, look, he did it. Stop it. Like wrestling is the best base for it. And we're gonna always just the New York mindset, the wrestling grind, and to have a skilled man like Ray and Matt behind you is not like it. Matt is a phenomenal. If you ever go and look at a jiu-jitsu class that Matt runs, it is unreal, like unreal. Like you could have no interest in jiu-jitsu and you go into a class, you just feel the energy, you see his teaching strategy and his skills. Like Matt don't have to teach classes. Matt gets up at 4 or 5 a.m. and goes to the early classes. And like he puts time, effort, and energy into you. Like it is unreal. Unreal.
Yeah. So the rest of your amateur career, Alvin means you do Dr. Stoppage 6 months after. And you end with Jon Xavier. You're still trying to like you're 3-0 with 2 decisions, 1 finish.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you turn pro so fast because of your age, or was it just your want?
I was old, man.
Yeah.
Father time was ticking. I started at the age 27. And I said to myself, like, listen, I know Father Time's undefeated.
You got to get there by 30. You have to.
That was that was it. It was 30. It was
30. Football. It's that football in you. You understand.
Yeah. I was like that I had to get there by 30 or the chances were just even to get even smaller. And it was just like, who's going to want to take a chance on an old man? Like realistically, right? Like, and listen, old is young, but I'm talking about sports wise, right? I don't want any 30-year-olds watching and saying I'm calling you old. I promise you, that's not old. But sports wise, you're on the tail end of your career at 30, right? Like, guys are on the decline. So I knew I had to fast track it. And
it's about a contract. Like if you've already got a contract, it's different.
Correct.
You got to get that contract.
Got to get there. And it's hard, man. Like guys have been training since they're 15, 14, 13, mixed martial arts. Like I'm just behind it. I'm just going off of sheer guts and will, man. So it was during the process, I didn't really look at it, but now that I'm like, running business and I look back, I go, man, damn, man, I accomplished some pretty awesome stuff. Like when you're in it, when you're living with it, you don't realize it. And to this day, I always say that my biggest regret is that I didn't make my goals higher. Like,
Really?
oh, there's no doubt. Like when I came into it, I didn't I didn't set my goals higher. I literally started at 27. I said my goal is to get to the UFC by 30. And that was it. That was it. Like I didn't care about belts, this and that, because I always had this tired of being second place mentality. Me, and when I say that, it's like my junior year, I had four of my high school teammates. We were all in the finals. I was the only one that lost. The ultimate the Ultimate Fighter finale. We had all my teammates in the semifinals on the Frank Yeager. I was like, I will not relive that. And I was the last guy to fight. Like
Yeah.
craziest shit. You think about the craziest things. Like people always think about, were you scared this, that? I think about the craziest, weirdest things. I literally thought about 2000 being the only guy, the last guy wrestling 215, losing 2-1 in the finals of the National County
Oh,
Championship. And then that guy went on to lose in overtime in the state finals. So it drove me crazy to this day. Anthony Antonitis, it drives me crazy. I don't even remember the guys that beat me. That it literally drove me nuts. And to make the world go full circle, he ended up training at Sarah's 20 plus years later, jiu-jitsu. And I was able to roll with this dude who had
choke his
originally,
ass out. You
yeah,
get him?
dude, yeah, I hate to even admit it, but he was a friggin' awesome dude. Like, like I even hate to like great human being because I hated him for years. Like for years, because I wanted to be a two-time county champion. I wanted to beat my brother. My brother was my role model, my hero. My brother's a freak athlete. If you talk to anybody in the world, my brother should have been in my place. Like my brother should be the fighter. My brother should be the Ultimate Fighter champion. Like he was a freak athlete, and everything happens for a reason. Like maybe having too much fame and money, he would have been dead because he was out of his bird,
Hmm.
out of his bird.
So your first pro fight, you stay with Lou Neglia. I don't think there's many options over by you though.
It's not that many options. I think it's CFFC, Ring of Combat, and that's
Was
really
it wasn't there like a New York fight exchange?
they had a good promotion. Something I don't know what happened there. Kind of went south. I know.
It's like Eric
They,
Ott, I think, was a promoter.
I think so. Yeah, they did a good show, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a good show. I don't know if just the COVID and the insurance and once mixed martial arts got legal in New York because they were doing the amateur route, right? That was the
Yeah.
way you kind of
I thought that's
beat.
what you were doing. I thought you were fucked for them. I thought there was a couple of hidden fights for
No,
them.
they did like
No?
I did like jujitsu stuff and like different commenting stuff with them. But they did a good show.
Yeah. So your first pro fight was J.A. Dudley. You weigh 250 pounds. He's got 9 fights, and your teammates with Jenkins and Iaquinta, both of them are on the card. So it kind of makes it knocks the nerves off when you're
Yeah,
going into something like this with teammates.
it definitely does. It's like going to battle and trying to simulate the gym as much as possible, right? That atmosphere, that camaraderie, that energy. It's different. I'm telling you, there's nothing like your first. Like I can't compare it. I assumed that it would be the exact same, right? Fighting is fighting is fighting, but the second it was a pro fight versus amateur fight, it was a different world. It was a different world.
Yeah.
Like
You
this
win
is
by
like
decision. Yep. You
yeah,
get a decision.
one by decision. And I do that guy was a seasoned vet, man. Like he's been around the block. Like he's fought everybody.
Yeah. 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 Those guys, I don't think they get enough credit because they make events happen. Guys
Yes,
like that help guys
yes.
like you get to the next level, and you need it. Without them, you're never going to get where you're supposed to be.
Facts, and it's just
Yeah.
there's so many moving parts to fighting that people just don't realize. And
No.
you
They
could
look at a
tell you
record and they make false assumptions. Yep.
exactly. You look at a guy like Anthony Smith, like I think that dude is legendary because
100%.
he fell down so many times and picked
50 Fight
himself
Club
back.
member. Absolutely.
He picked himself up so many times, and people talk trash about him, and I just can't understand it. Like Like it's crazy to me. It's
Yeah.
but you can tell who are just there because it's a popular thing now to mixed martial arts.
Mhm.
If somebody says, "Oh man, you do UFC," you know right away. Like you know right away they don't have a clue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah. So you fight in Ring of Combat 36. That's your pro debut. You're every Ring of Combat, you're there. Ring of Combat 37. You're originally supposed to fight Keith Berish.
yes, yes,
What he pulls off in a 2-0 Steve Edwards locks in. Berish goes on to fight in the UFC against Robert Drysdale
yeah.
at the Tough 19 finale, of which you won. Like it's so weird, that little math equation involving that. When does he pull off the card?
It was crazy because it was like a week or two out, and he ended up pulling out, and his teammate stepped in for him. Um, so it was kind of weird because I was looking forward to fighting him because we were very similar in styles, and he was just
Legit. He's legit.
he like legit, and it's just like I that's my gift and my curse, right? Most guys coming up trying to pad their stats. I would try to fight the best human being possible. And it's like some people thought I was crazy for doing that, but I said, listen, I'm not in here for a long time. I'm in here for a good time, and I want to be the best, right? I want to
Yeah.
challenge myself. If I can't beat these guys on the local scene, why would I ever think I'm going to make it to the UFC, especially by 30, right? Like, yeah, I didn't have the time to pick and choose and pad my record and look good and this and that. I had to fight the biggest, baddest dudes. Most people don't realize I was supposed to fight Pat Cummings as well
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
before he before the whole DC thing happened. Um and that fell out. Like I think it was he got sick or something because dudes with his back, nobody wanted to fight him. And I was like, I don't give a shit, man. I'll fight him. Like it was crazy because he was a great wrestler. And I was like, dude, I want to fight him.
So
I want to always fight
he's
the
the
best
best.
guy.
Yeah. It's gang, gang. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like most people just can't understand that mindset. And it's just like that's just the way I was raised, man. I want to sit there like I want to fight the best of the best.
Yeah. Ring of Combat 39. David Tkeshelashvii. He's 8-4. Dude, these are not
Dude,
easy.
he to this day is the strongest human being on the planet. Like that fight was crazy because he was from Georgia. He
Oh
came
yeah.
over. Him
He's
and
like
Marab,
Ukrainian by way of Georgia.
yes, yes, and him and
Yeah.
Marab
I know who
were
he is.
buddies. So him and Rob was buddies. He was paid to come over. So the universe, the country of Georgia and Ukraine was paying this dude to fight. Like fighting overseas, like in Dagestan, it's another world.
Yeah.
In America, we got to catch up, man. Those countries, they support their dudes. Like it's like it's nothing. It's like you got to go out there and destroy the world. Like they fed him. After we fought, like a year later, he came to Sarah's, and like we started like building a relationship, and he helped me train for a couple fights. But he was like a power lifter. He did some crazy stuff. Like dude, that fight was wild. It reminded me of Rocky Four. That's one of my favorite fights, man. It was crazy. It was like back and forth. It was a fun fight, man.
Yeah. Yeah. 8-4, super tough. Yeah, not an easy fight. Um, Ring of Combat 40, April 27, 2012. Ryan Contaldi, 7-6-1. But like I said, he's gonna test you. You can't sleep on him. If you
Yeah,
lose to him, it doesn't look good, but it's somebody you have to beat,
have to.
especially with the finish.
Yes, and he's a dude. He was a wrestler, and he was a wrestler, and
Controldi. That's all. Yeah.
yeah, and he was a wrestler. So it's like you always know when you go up against a wrestler, they're gonna have a good mindset, right? Because they've been
Yeah.
competing their whole life, you know, one on one like a gladiator. So you know, anybody that goes to that cage is tough, right? But if you know a guy's a wrestler, you just know you're gonna be in for a fight.
Bring your lunch. Bring your lunch. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're in for a long night. Yeah. 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 You get a finish there. It's super important. Carlos Brooks, All right, he's 4-1, but he's got a win over Danny Babcock.
Yeah, no, dude. So Carlos Brooks
That's a
was
41.
probably one of my bigger wins
Yeah.
because he was so highly touted. He trained with Uriah Hall. He
Yeah.
was Uriah Hall's main training
Main
partner.
training partner. Yep.
He had a bunch of kickboxing fights. So that was mixed martial arts. So like he was like one of the most legit strikers. And he came with a very, very like a big name on him. So it was, dude, I feel like almost damn near all my fights I was underdog, man. Like almost every single
Well,
fight I had.
they're looking at you as an old wrestler that's fat outside of a weight class that they don't belong in. Did you weigh in? I couldn't get a weight for this.
Every single fight of Ring of Combat, I think I was like light heavyweight. So I did 205.
So
I
you
never,
finally got down to 205 at this point.
correct. At that point, I got down to 205.
Okay.
And it was like you said, like I was supposed to be everybody's stepping stone. I was a
For sure.
I was a ticket seller. I had a following from football. People enjoyed my company. I was, I was a good marketer. So I was a ticket seller and a stepping stone. And I just
as a promoter, you get him guys that are they're going to make him push himself, and if he doesn't train, he gets exposed. But if he does train, in theory, he should win.
Yes. Yeah.
You try to ride that out as long as possible. This isn't the case, though. In this case, I think it was like, man, I think our ticket seller's coming to an end. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Build this other guy. Yeah, I don't think that they had you in mind on this one.
There's like, and listen,
I
as a
agree with that.
business, you get it. As a business, you get it. I think that's why fighting is so beautiful, right? Because anything can happen any day, anytime. So it's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
He gets you. He's got Babcock. He might only need 1 or 2 more fights, and he's in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucked that up. I mean, if you really think about it,
happily.
1. He's 5-1 with great record by you. He's got Danny Babcock. He probably needs 1 or 2 fights. One name on their way down.
And he's got good people behind him because the Tiger Showman guys, they got a great following.
Oh yeah.
They got the guys. They had Uriah Hall. They had a bunch of steam behind that camp. So like that, that was, again, I gotta take the toughest fight. Like that was the mindset of mine. Like I had to take that fight, and it worked out in my favor, man.
Yeah, on paper, you ain't supposed to be getting your hand raised.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And it's like, and that was just, that was my mindset, my mentality, like my whole career. Like I know I'm not supposed to be here. Like realistic. If you tell somebody, all right, man, here you go, pick up this sport at the age of 27. Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Tennis, hockey, basketball, anything. Pick up this sport at the age of 27 that you've never done anything with it. Guys have been trained since they're 12, 13, 14 years old for this. Good luck.
Yeah, and Lou Neglia tries to do you a favor. I read a press release. I didn't see it written anywhere, but I saved, dude, I got press releases going back a couple decades. And the press release said you were originally supposed to fight Marvin Eastman. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, so Ring of Combat 42, you're supposed to fight Marvin Eastman. Something happens, you end up with Anton Talaman. What took place?
So this was the craziest, one of the craziest fights I've ever had, right?
A fight you should win, I might add, on paper.
On paper, right? So
probably your first.
Fight Marvin Eastman, right? Excited, big name.
On his way down.
That's
what you need.
They're like, all right, shit, we can't get rid of him. So let's build him up.
Yeah.
He's a champion now. Let's build him up. And then that fight falls out. And I picked up this fight on 2 days' notice because I just want to fight. Don't do any research on the dude. Can't find nothing. But I'm cocky now, right? I'm beating all these guys I'm not supposed to.
Hey, you know what? Let me counter this. He's had no pressure, no anxiety, no nerves for the 6 weeks that you've had him. Go ahead.
And I sold all these tickets. I can't not fight. Find me anybody. Lou calls me up. He's like, got this guy. Don't know much about him. Heard he's tough. You want to fight? give me the fight. I'm like, I'm not gonna say no, right? Like,
Yeah.
and literally, I remember even the night before, I had a crazy sponsors now coming through, Audi, this, that, give me a car, got a film crew following me, doing like a documentary on me, like everything, like all of the bullshit side distraction stuff that doesn't matter. But when you're feeling yourself now, it matters, right? And dude end up being like an Ohio State wrestler that nobody knew about. Wrestled at Ohio State, and that's all he could do is wrestle. And literally dry humped me, and I was fucking so mad because I'm playing in my knockout. I'm a knockout Marvin Eastman, so training for a stand-up dude, and just got out wrestled. Bottom line, I thought it was a close fight. I thought I could have got it, but they gave it to him, and then listen, I can live with it. It made me a better person. It made
Yeah,
me
it's your first loss.
first loss. Fucking thought my world was over. I was like I literally,
It
like
hurt.
it hurt. I'm like, gotta be kidding me. I was like, it hurt bad, and I was like, that's it. I was like,
Calling your buddies, just
I'm
going,
like,
man.
I'm thinking, mind these freaking guys are right. I'm not gonna make it to the UFC. I'm like, I'm all the doubts coming in now, right? All the like, that's the thing with fighting too. Like, I'm not lying to you. It felt like my world was over. Like it's crazy. Like you can't understand winning, getting success on every level. When I played football, I won championships. I won championships on every single level, every single sport I ever competed. That was probably one of the first times there was nobody. This guy didn't miss a block. That guy didn't. It was on me. Like I lost. I lived with it. I took it, and it could have destroyed me, man. Like I'm not even joking. Like I thought that the sun was gonna shine the next day. When the sun came up, I was like, "What are you doing here?" Like it was, it was, it was weird. It was just, it was, it was crazy. I can't even tell you the emotion. It was an emotional roller coaster,
Made you take 8 months off.
dude. My head was, I was distraught. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was distraught. But this is the crazy story that most people don't know. Took 8 months off because after I lost, I literally lost that fight. 2 days later, I flew out to Vegas for the Ultimate Fighter Season 17 tryouts. They ended up, it was Jon Jones and I forgot who was the other coach. Was it Rashard?
Cormier?
Who was it?
Was it Rashad or Cormier? Which one?
Might have been Rashard.
Okay.
Can't remember. But John done that season. So me and John had the same managers. So Malky was like,
It's
FRM.
okay.
He's like, first round management. Fly out, an interview with the UFC. Do the whole thing. Wrestle, punch, strike, make all of the
From a good
cuts.
camp? You're from a good camp?
Good camp. Like it came down to it. They were doing 205, 185 for the show. I went in for 205. Weighed 230, did the interview. They were like, after passing all the tests, I got selected. I'm on season 17, Ultimate Fighter. 3 weeks before, 3 or 4 weeks before they go, we decided to cut the 205 class. Can you make 185? I go, hell yeah, I can make 185. They go, dude, you're 230. I can do anything I put my mind to. All right. A week before I quit my regular job. So now I've been training for this for probably like 2, 3 months, 4 months, getting my weight down. They called me and said, yo, we're not rolling dice on you. We're going to go with somebody else for the show. If you don't make weight, we lose millions of dollars on you. We don't trust you. You never made the weight before.
I get it.
I was pissed. I was pissed. I was mad. I was cursing. I was screaming. I was irate. I was so angry. And
Wow, dude, it's lower than you fought than you wrestled in high school.
correct, yeah. No.
I mean, I hate
looking back at it now, like financially, business wise, it makes sense. I get it.
well,
But I was
here's the
so
thing, like
pissed.
you're not you're not an unlikable guy. So like you missing weight, they can't really dump on you because
Yeah,
like you're a nice guy. But like if you've got like a real bad attitude and you miss
yeah,
weight, oh dude, it's money in the bank for them.
yeah. It's
Really, if you think about it.
yeah, it was crazy. I was devastated. Devastated. I literally quit my job, walked away from everything, didn't fight, missed so many fights. I saw Money wasn't coming in. All I was doing was training for this life-changing.
Everything is going out. Nothing is coming in.
Life-changing opportunity. And then it gets even crazier. I call up Lou. Lou's the man. Lou, we got a great relationship. He puts me on a card. And he's like,
Championship Fighting Alliance, Oscar Delgado.
So it's
It's
crazy.
in
So
Florida.
so before even before that, Lou put me on a card. The guy, because I want to show the UFC, I was pissed now. I want to show them I can make fucking 185. Because I was already cutting the weight. So I told Lou, book me a 185 fight. Booked the fight. The day of the fight, the kid's blood work coming, he has hepatitis.
Oh.
I'm like, this is crazy. Has hepatitis. I already cut the weight. I step on the scale.
You made it?
Made the weight.
They won't even know.
And I wanted them to document it. And fucking nothing. Not on Sure Dog. They ain't gonna put the guy didn't forfeit. The guy didn't. It wasn't a fight. So
you gotta get at least a half a win. I mean,
nothing. Did it for nothing.
Something.
At least put a no contest made weight. Nothing.
Yeah, no
nothing.
Contest made weight.
I was like, pissed.
Right.
Now I'm pissed. And Ring of Combat had no fights. So then, of course, I remember that CFA fight, man. They said, let's call in this another guy. I was set up for another homegrown dude.
Yeah, all right. So it's Oscar Delgado. It's an interesting fight card, man.
That card was crazy. You want to talk about a show? I don't know how that show didn't make it. That just shows you how great Dana White and UFC is.
Yeah.
This show had a sick card.
Lots of bells and whistles.
Bells and whistles. Great paycheck. They took care. It was crazy. It was crazy. I think that's the time we had Fallon Fox on that.
Dude, hey, here we go. You got Fallon Fox on the card. And you've also got Alexei Vila. I mean,
crazy.
Two people that have made the news.
Yes.
Did you interact with Vila at all?
I believe I was in the same corner and room as Fallon Fox, and that was just weird. That was like.
Did you kind of like know, or were you like?
Oh, to know, like we had
kind of like.
They did it. They ran it like the UFC. They had press conferences, so everybody knew. We were at the Miami Heat arena for a press conference before the fight. We had showdowns. Like they did it. It was. I felt like I was in the UFC. They ran the event like the UFC. That's what I'm saying. Like I can't believe that promotion didn't stick. They must have dumped a bunch of money.
How was Fallon?
Said quiet.
So I saw Fallon fight, I think 3 times locally. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
So she fought 3 times locally. A real pleasant person to deal with, but like you said, real
quiet,
in and out, really not real social, but
very quiet. So I couldn't even tell you what the personality like. Hi, bye, head nod, like nothing crazy.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, like.
And Vila, did you get anything with Vila?
No, nothing. Like I said, I was on the other side, so like we're separated. I think after the press conference, she lost, so I didn't even see her. Like.
Oh, you're talking about Fallon lost? Yeah. No, Fallon didn't lose. Did she?
No, Fallon won, so I didn't see Vila.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was weird. It was a crazy card. It was a crazy card, man. That was a wild time.
Yeah. If you look at it, it's kind of like an all-star. Check cleared, no issues.
Check cleared, no issues, man. It was a nice check too. It was crazy. I was like, I think that was their last event, if I believe.
Yeah, it was. I because it was their last event. That's why preemptive was it check cleared. Oftentimes it's no.
Yes, and I made sure I went to the bank. I think that it was late night. I went right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was. Listen, it was. I think my manager at the time got a bad rap because Malky is a shark, man. Malky Kawa is a shark, so I guess he made sure the check cleared. Like
you didn't want to go with Gary Marino, huh?
I didn't even know Gary. To tell you the truth, like I went.
He's like a Boston guy, but CFFC. I worked with them for a while.
Yeah, like I think I ended up going because I worked with Jason Rivera, who was a subsidy a partner with them. Yeah. And dude, that dude, like to this day I talk to him. Like Like he's just
good dude, huh?
really good dude, man. Like if you get a good manager, it could be great. You get a shitty manager, and it ruins your career. And like, do you even really need a manager? If that's the other thing, like,
Depends on who you are. Like
correct.
Gerald Mearshart
Exactly.
doesn't need a manager. Neil Magny doesn't need a manager. You know, but then there's guys that do. Yeah, it
Correct.
just
No, you're
depends on
spot
who
on.
you are.
That's the best way to put it. So I think some managers get a bad
Jon
rep.
Jones needs a manager.
Needs a manager, needs a driver, needs a babysitter.
Therapist.
Like, listen. So me and John was on the same. All right. So me and John was like on the same. We had the same management team. So there's a lot of stuff in this world that's wild, and the success that John has had, he is the Tiger Woods of MMA.
Yeah.
He's just such a freak talent, and he's Tiger at his prime. Like he hasn't lost a step yet. Like John is just a genetic specimen. John is what mixed martial arts is going to be in 10, 15 years from now. What I
Okay.
mean by that is that
Do you think he's a hard worker? You think he's a hard worker?
oh, he works hard.
He does work hard.
He works hard, but he parties harder. He works hard
That's what I'm thinking.
and he parties harder. But listen, John is what the sport's going to be in 10, 15 years. He is Jim Brown before Jim Brown. Like he's such a gifted, talented specimen athlete that if MMA was profitable, all of those football players, basketball players, they would do MMA. Those freak athletes would do mixed martial arts if they knew there was money in it. If there was Conor McGregor money, Jon Jones money in it from the start, you would get more Jon Jones and Conor McGregors. But those freak athletes are playing the sports they're going to get a check from. Like, now that people know there's money in mixed martial arts, you're going to have kids who are freak athletes training for mixed martial arts. You're not going to get wrestlers turn into boxers. You're going to get kids now that are training for mixed martial arts who are freak athletes, who could be Division I football players, who could be Division I basketball players, but they're training for mixed martial arts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
And that's
So,
what John is right now.
yeah.
Because his family's genetically freakish.
Well, his body's
okay,
built for it. Like his body
built.
is like the prototype of what a fighter, the optimal of what a fighter's build should
Crazy
be.
reach,
Good
strong,
wrestling, great
leverage,
wrestling.
wrestling background, sick athlete so you can learn anything, student of the game. Like, I don't care what you say about him. Like, he's a student of the game. It's not his
Yeah.
fault. He's just a freak talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. So the Ultimate Fighter, they come calling again.
Story behind Ultimate Fighter is Al Iaquinta. Like, Al Iaquinta. If it wasn't for Al, so Al was on the live season, which is probably the hardest season ever. He was on the hardest, most grueling Ultimate Fighter in history, the live one. After he went there, he went to the finale. He called me up. He goes, "They got an Ultimate Fighter." I'm like, "I ain't doing that shit. I'm pissed. I ain't going back. They screwed me last time." He goes, "Dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. It's a great experience." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." He's like, "Just call them." I didn't have a pot to piss in. I didn't have the money to buy a flight to Vegas. I was like, "Dude, I quit my job last time. Put me in the hole. I'm not going through that life experience again."
You've only got one fight in between.
One fight in between. I'm like, "What's gonna be? They didn't take me there. Why? What's gonna change?" He's like, "Call him, call him, call him. You got the number?" Because I had everybody's contact number. So I end up calling Jamie and Paige, and they friggin' remembered me. And they're like, "Dude, we loved you last time. It was just the thing." I'm like, "Yeah, you love me. You fucking ruined my life." And literally, they're like, "We'll call you back. We'll see something." They called me back 2 days later, and they friggin' they said, "Come down for the physicals." I'm like, "Dude, I don't got no money to buy a plane." They're like, "Don't worry, everything's covered." They paid me to come down, do my physicals, do everything. I thought I had to do an interview process. They're like, "No, we love you. We wanted you last show. We just didn't have your weight class." And then here goes the $1 million question. They go, "What weight class do you want to fight? 185 or 205?" I go, 185. They go, "Dude, we're not cutting to 205 this season." I go, "I'm fighting 185." And they put me on 185 season, and the freaking rest is history.
What we walking at?
I'm big. I was walking it. At that point, I was 225. I
It, you know,
I so my UFC career was what's the word I want to look at it? It was learn on the fire because I didn't have that many fights even before I went to the UFC. So I was learning. I had
It's
more fights.
you had fights, but it was a short period of time.
Correct. It was like
Yeah,
I
it
had fights.
wasn't.
I did all my learning in the Ultimate Fighter House and the
Yeah,
UFC. Like
I
that's where I
agree.
had all my fights.
I
So
agree with that.
for me, it was literally horrible. My success was my biggest downfall because I did it wrong for so long. What I mean by that is I fluctuated so much. I would fight at 186, get up to 230, 235,
Oof.
up and down, because my biggest asset was my biggest downfall. I was mentally tough. The first time I found out I was doing it wrong was the Prudential Center because it was me, Aljo, Volante. We had a bunch of guys on the card. And I used to cut 20, 25 pounds the night before the fights. And I was just doing it so successfully that I thought it was the right way to do it. So I would literally lose 20 to 25 pounds before every single fight. I
That's
would
too
go
much.
deaf and blind before every fight. I used to go deaf and blind before every fight. I wouldn't be able to hear. I wouldn't be able to see. My last fight before I had like something got changed or I got to retire, I was so drained. I was ass naked in my bed, and my strength and conditioning coach had to physically put my underwear on for me to go down to go weigh in.
Was that Sargas? Was his last name? What was his name?
No, so that was Jamal Hammond. So Jamal was my strength and conditioning coach.
Okay.
Had to literally put my underwear on. I couldn't even move.
Wow, that's
Like
brutal.
I was sitting by the elevator, like you gotta stand up. Nobody, if somebody sees like this, you're gonna cancel your fight. And I was fucking faking it. They made me eat a bite of a Snicker, and that shit should have been a Snicker commercial. Cause I shit you not, that little bite of the Snicker, cause I was so afraid I was gonna make weight. That little bite of the Snicker gave me enough energy to step on the scale and not collapse and get the fight canceled. And literally, like from that time, I was like, I got something's gotta change. And then, cause everybody thinks you're rich when you're fighting. You're broke.
Oh, you're barely making it.
You're barely making it. So I literally ended up getting some success and was able to get a nutritionist finally. And when I found out I was doing it wrong for so long, it was just crazy. It was just crazy.
So you bypass all of the normal protocol to get on the Ultimate Fighter. Did you notice anybody that was like there that didn't make it to the show?
I didn't even know because I didn't even go to the like the real try where you got thousands of people there. I literally just went and did the physical. So literally I went to do the physical. So how they do it is most people don't know, they'll keep like 4 or 5 extra guys.
Uh-huh.
Do all of the physical stuff, and usually guys fail the drug test, some guys fail the physical, some guys don't get cleared, and that's like the process of elimination. So if everybody passes the physical part, they still gotta cut 4 more people. So it's wild, and you sign all kind of NDAs, and you travel in like these small little groups, so you don't even know who's on there because they don't want you studying guys' fights to know who's studying guys' styles. So you really don't know who's on the show until you go and compete. And I had to fight to get in the house, so they had even more people. So some houses they just put you in the house, like what is it, 12 guys or something like that. This time it was like 36 guys, and we had to fight. You had to win to get in the house.
You fought an undefeated Matt Gable, who,
I was another setup. They thought I was gonna lose that one too because
if you look at Matt, he's from Iowa. I've met him several times. I remember him. He probably doesn't remember me. And he was a fixture on the Midwest, particularly Iowa scene. And thought he was just like this country strong, corn fed white boy that just finished everybody. That dude was tough.
dude, he could take a shot.
Oh.
Let me tell you something, I hit that dude with everything possible, and it was crazy. But he was cocky as can be. His coach was one of the coaches on the show. So I found out after the fact. So I don't know if it was Ricardo Almeida or somebody I was talking to after like the teams are picked and we're all in the house, and he goes, "Damn man, I'm surprised you're here, man. They Matt, we all everybody picked Gable."
Yeah.
He was the one out.
Your knees to the body, your shucking of the head, and then forget the punch. Here's a little bit of knee. And they weren't brutal, but they were enough.
Yeah.
And it was just, I can't. Oof. Smart move. Good move. Good move.
Dude, because he was like he was tough though, man. I gotta give that dude
Yeah.
credit.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Tough dude.
Your second match, you got in the house. Mike King. Mike fights one time for the UFC, gets released because of steroids.
So it's a crazy,
Another
so,
super tough guy.
super tough guy, super talented. I actually, the show on the actual show makes it like we didn't get along and we didn't like each other. But when I talked to this dude, like he was actually a really good dude. Had a lot of demons, man. Had a lot of demons, and I feel bad for him. It's hard to say you feel bad for somebody doing steroids, right? Because you're cheating the game, right? So it's
Yeah.
hard to feel bad for somebody that does steroids. Um, but you find out a lot of dark secrets in this game, man. A lot of dudes were cheating the sport, and you win some, you lose some. So you can't complain when you beat a guy on the juice, and so you can't complain when you lose to one too, right? So like that was the most frustrating thing for me because I was an old dude doing it the right way, and to find out how many guys were cheating the system, because people talk, right? Like you can't,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I should even say this shit, but I
Just no
allegedly,
names. Just say it. No names. Go ahead.
allegedly there was dudes in the house that bypassed drug test and was on on shit. So I was like, that's crazy. Like that was like wild when you find that out, and then it's like it catch up to you
How do
catch
you
up.
beat a drug test in the house?
Shit. If I say that, if I say how, then it's gonna make sense. Yes. So dudes, put it like this: dudes act like they was jerking off, but they weren't jerking off. They had prison mentality, putting sheets up and all types of crazy stuff, like putting sheets around your bed because there was cameras 24/7, right?
Yeah.
But you're beating your meat, they're not gonna put that on TV, right? So you put up a sheet, I guess you whacking your thing. I don't know. It was wild. I guess this is alleged. I didn't see nobody do shit, but people were saying that, you
You
know,
heard it. You heard it. Yeah.
you heard it through the grapevine. Um, and it sucks. Like in some teams were more notorious for it than others, and it's just crazy. I'm like, you rolling the dice, risking it. It's like just a shame. I got kids, man. I'm teaching my kids that whatever you do, man, you work your ass off. You work as hard as humanly possible, and wherever your chips lie, live with it. If you did your best, that's good enough. If you did everything, you didn't cut any corners, like be happy with that. That's my mind of it. Like I don't want to do drugs and cheat the game and be a champion because I gotta look at myself in the mirror. So that's what I live by. Whatever it is, what it
You
is.
got to be accountable, especially on TV and the age of the internet. Like you're going to be accountable for every action that you have in
Yeah,
this lifetime. Yeah.
there's no doubt, man. And listen, I'm not no freaking angel. Like we all make mistakes. It's like we're perfectly imperfect, but something that's in your control like that, there's no
But
excuse.
this is kind of what I'd like to point out to our listeners. Matt Gable was kind of the favorite going into the show. You weren't supposed to beat him. Who was the first pick? Mike King. And then you wind up with Cathal Pendred. But if you look, have you watched your season recently? Or
I haven't watched it recently, but obviously I watched it a few times.
you seem like you were like angry to be in there.
So my thing was this, right? I I'm a realist, right? I I'm a smart guy. I know that I was counted out. So I always had that chip on my shoulder. And I fought angry because it was me against the world. Because I was the oldest guy on the show. I had the least amount of experience on the show. I had it was just it was just that I just
It was you versus everybody,
yeah, it was
which it
like
really is. But
it,
okay.
yeah, like we were teams, but ultimately, like if you're in the weight class, you're an enemy.
Yeah, it's true.
Like realistically, and no, you build bonds like this. People don't understand how hard that show was because they see TV, they see 13 episodes, 13 hours. Like we were there for 8 weeks, no contact with the outside world, fighting, training, cutting, making weight. Like we had literally, I had 4 fights in 8 weeks. Like people don't understand.
That's a lot, dude. That's a
It's
lot, dude.
insane. It's insane. And most people don't know. I came into that show with
And you're cutting weight like that, so
it's crazy.
you're
It's crazy.
miserable.
It's crazy. Nobody doesn't understand that. Like, it's one of the hardest things to do in the world in fighting, and you're outside of your comfort zone. You're with random coaches that don't really know you. You're just it's it's a science project. They got that shit down to such a science. They put a bunch of liquor in the house. When guys lose, they know they're out. They're dude, you can get anything you want. Like it is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you had issues with Chris Fields, and then Daniel Spawn tries to break it up. He can catch some too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's.
Oh man, it was a wild experience.
Were you happy with how you were portrayed on the show?
Listen, they portrayed me as like a bully kind of thing, and it was weird, but when I got like whatever, I get it, right? They gotta sell the show. I wasn't happy where I portrayed, but I was happy where I portrayed because ultimately every time I did an interview, they go, "Oh wow, I didn't expect that." Every time I met somebody, "Oh wow, I didn't expect that." So like you're always gonna leave a first impression, right? All you could do is be yourself, and the rest will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. They did a shit ton more marketing for me than I would ever do for myself. So I was
Yeah,
happy. I was happy with that.
yeah.
You know,
So,
they they gave me the opportunity to change my life.
so BJ Penn brought in Mark Coleman as one of the coaches. Did you get any work with him at all?
I love Mark.
Dude, he's the best.
Mark was amazing. Mark was so old school. Mark was like, "Oh shit, I'm not supposed to help the other team," type shit. Like Mark was just a wrestler's wrestler. Like
Yeah,
if you were a wrestler, he wanted to wrestle with you. He wanted to show you stuff. Like he was just a wrestler. That's why I think the wrestling mindset is so different. Wrestling mindset is very different from mixed martial arts. Reason I say that, when you're a part of a team, when you're a part of a camp, when you're a part of something, that's your team. Like you don't go outside after train. Wrestlers, if you lived in town A, you'll go to town B. If you're a wrestler like kid next week, it didn't matter. You were just trying to get the best work wherever you could get the work because
yeah, it's
the
true.
bottom line is you're gonna have to wrestle with the person regardless. So it don't matter if he knows your favorite move, doesn't matter what. You got to beat me. That time, that day, that way, it didn't matter. What happened in practice didn't matter. So I feel like that's the only difference between wrestling and MMA.
Yeah,
It's like camps, and you can't go to another camp and train. Like it's just like shunned upon, and that's the only difference.
yeah. Coleman's sober now. I talk to him every once in a while.
He's a great dude.
He's a national treasure. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah.
great dude.
I love Coleman.
Went through his ups and downs, and he is a testament, man. He's a great dude.
Cathal Pendred, you beat him by split decision. You go into the finals. You get attached to a charity called Live to Fight Charity. Like you're a hot commodity coming out of that show.
Yeah, nah, it was awesome, man. Like I said, man, Dana White, I got so much respect for Dana because he always tells it like it is, and some people can't handle that. He gets a bad rap. I think he gets a bad rap because people don't like the truth, and Dana never. I got a great relationship with him. He always tells you like it is, and again, the Ultimate Fighter changed my life. I was able to do what I love and continue to do what I love. It opened up doors that I wouldn't be able to step through. And if you take advantage of it and you make the best of it and you do right by it, it's game changing.
That's the thing. It's like, all right, I'm a researcher. Like I'm a crazy, mentally ill OCD guy that saves press releases from 20 years ago. And some of the instances that I see when I'm contacting guys like yourself is I look at their social media. And if they haven't had a fight in 15 years, 12 years, and you're still showing UFC pictures, like that's nice, but that's not who you are. Like you
Facts.
need to use that as a stepping stone to something bigger. It's not like, well, no, I peaked. This is where I'm at, and that's where Coleman. And you know, man, he's never talked about this, but I've talked about him a lot. That's where Mark Coleman had his issues with substance abuse. He didn't know how to move on. And when he did figure out how to move on, he was able to get sober and do something with himself. He
You know
was
what the problem is?
tortured.
We are from such a young age. You identify, the sport identifies who you are. I'm a football player. I am a this. I am a I'm a MMA player. I'm a UFC fighter. No, you're not. You're Mike Davis. You're George St. Pierre. Like, you're a person. You just happen to be good at a sport and do a sport. And it's like, I always talk to these young kids, at some point, the sport's going to pass by everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It don't matter who you are.
It's running you over.
It's running you over, and it's on to the next. Father Time is undefeated, and you gotta always think, what are you gonna do when the crowd stops cheering? Because it's going to happen. The crowd is going to stop cheering at some point. And if you don't use it as a vehicle to propel your life, it's going to eat you and destroy you. It's going to destroy you. And it happens to football players, basketball players, hockey players, baseball players. It happens to the athletes in general. And it's sad because we're so geared towards competition that we don't want to listen to somebody that went through it. We don't want to listen to man's advice. It'll never happen to me. I'm invincible. I'm Superman, until kryptonite hits you right in the face. And it's sad. Like, at this point in time, you would hope that fighters will help have a fraternity, because ultimately, you're competing, but it's a fraternity. Not many people in the world can do what we did at a high level, and we should help each other more, man. And I feel like sometimes our ego gets involved, and we don't allow it to happen.
Did you ever see that Mike Tyson, spoken word?
No, when he went on the talk, he did a comedy skit one. I didn't see the spoken word one.
Dude, it's like an hour long. It's fucking incredible. I always imagined a day where a guy like Mark Coleman, Brendan Schaub, Boss Rutten, 3 people go out. You got an hour and 15 to tell your story and connect with the crowd. Like, man, I'd go to that every week.
I think, and everybody has a story. And that's the problem, right? Sometimes you don't feel like you're enough. Sometimes you don't feel like you're enough, but everybody has a story. Everybody. And everybody can resonate to somebody. And that's the craziest thing, man. I had an aha moment when I thought, let me tell you something, coming off of the show was fucking crazy. It was freaky. Because you were in isolation for like 8 weeks. So,
it's like prison, they say.
Yo, it's crazy. I stayed in my house for like a good few months, and it was weird. It was weird. It was weird. Like, it was crazy. It was so weird. But I had a aha moment after I won the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't understand it. I was so happy, so on cloud 9, but it was so much hate and drama. My inbox was full with so much hate. People calling my kids monkeys and names and this and that.
God, are you kidding me?
Oh, dude, it's great. I never really talked about it, but it was so insane. And
Like really?
You have no idea.
Like, really?
Like, you have no. It was nuts. And I'm sitting there, and I couldn't understand it.
Tune that out, bro. You can't listen to that.
And I couldn't understand it because I was always a people's person. And after I wrote my book, and somebody reached out to me on Instagram and was like, after reading your book, it changed my life. I thought about taking my life because I dealt with a lot of things that you did, and to see that you overcame it changed my life and said I had hope. That day, I screenshot that message, and anytime I feel bad, I used to always go back to it. And I said, this was what my purpose was. Winning the Ultimate Fighter was cool, was great.
No, it's just your platform. That's your platform, dude.
It literally opened up a platform and opened up a conversation starter, and it opened up a story that I can tell and impact somebody's life. And that was it for me. That was when it was like, oh shit, it's bigger than the sport.
All right. So when things like that happen to you, you find, to be honest with you, it's kind of like a rite of passage. You finally made it. As awful as those negative things coming,
no doubt.
Okay, so this is what all right, Eddie, we've never met. Do I seem like I've done a lot of research for this?
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
I've got guys. This just started happening a couple days ago. Mike, he tries. He thinks he knows the regional scene and stuff like that, but we got to. He tries, and it's like Are you fucking serious? Like I put like in 15 fucking hours for one interview. And I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop reading this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got me.
So I
You
give you an
fucking got
example.
me.
You gotta remember this, right? Nobody complains and talks trash about somebody that's not doing better than them.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, and listen,
For
I'm not
sure.
gonna lie to you. They don't prepare you to deal with the negative nature. They always say, I have tough skin. Yo, listen, words hurt. Words hurt. If words hurt, like it hurts. And I know, like, you just gotta.
Especially when you can't touch them. You can't touch
Oh my!
them.
And that's the craziest. I can't stand that whole rule and that whole. I can't stand that whole world. Like, I'm a '90s kid, man. I grew up in the '90s, so things are different. But people get away with a lot of murder now. It's wild. But
Real quick, we're wrapping up. I've had you for 90 minutes. I greatly appreciate it. I know you probably got take a piss. All right, Dhiego Lima is your training partner in the house.
Yes,
yes. He's UC in the finals. It's July 6, 2014. Bro, here, you went from decision, split decision. What happened in your training camp, in your mind? Because that was so one-sided. You didn't appear to be the same human being.
You want to hear something? You want to hear the truth, man? I was actually the world aligned. I literally said, this is my time. Like, I heard all the outside noise. I was at the press conference and nobody wanted to talk to me. And I was just like, I've been the underdog my whole entire life in every aspect. And I've been proving people wrong for so long that I was at home. I was comfortable. And there comes a point, right, where you get to be the best version of yourself. You know, every night is not your best night. The best fighter doesn't always win the best night, but if you could come out there and be the best you, win, lose, or draw, that's all you could ever ask for. And that night I was able to put everything together. It was a state of flow. Like, what was scary to me is that I wasn't even nervous. Like, I remember being in the locker room back there just waiting, and I was just at so much peace. It sounds crazy. I was at so much peace because I knew that I put in the time, I put in the effort. I had a great weight cut. Everything made sense. Like, everything just made sense, and I knew what I was capable of. And I was like, there's just no. It didn't matter if it was 3 people in that ring. There was no human way that anything was going to stand in front of me and my family's dream.
Your destiny. Yeah.
Destiny. Like, it was just, and it was just, and I loved Dhiego. I love Dhiego like a brother. Like, we talk.
Did you expect it to go that way?
Oh, did I expect it or he expect? No,
Did you?
I knew.
I don't think you got punched.
I knew if I touched him, it was game over.
Is it because you guys had so much time together?
We trained a lot together. And listen, training, you try to take training with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's different, man. I do well. I do really well with a lot of guys, high-level guys in training, and I see them have success. Training is training. I just know my assets and what coaches that been around some of the best guys in the world said. And I know that if my right hand touched anybody in the UFC, there's going to be a bad day. And I was fortunate enough that Erik Hyer spent countless hours with me, and we just knew what Dhiego liked to do. We knew what he didn't like to do. We knew what the opportunity was. And, he threw that.
Dude, you guys are master game planners over there.
Yeah.
I think the one strength that Ray Longo and Matt Serra have is whatever ceiling a person has in life, it's going to be much higher by the way they prepare and game plan.
No doubt.
Like him beating George St. Pierre, people, it's the biggest upset in UFC history. If you talk to anybody kind of close to the situation, they go, yeah, we kind of expected it.
Yeah.
They literally like, wait, what? Like, yeah. No. He was going to win that fight. Yeah, rematch. Okay. But we knew he was going to win that fight.
It's like I'm telling you, it's like
Fucking wild, man.
they're geniuses, man. Like, and they care. I think the reason they're so good is because they genuinely have a love for every single one of the people that they train. Like they genuinely want to see you do well. It's there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Wow. Brother, we got hooked up last week. We got a common friend with Nick, the A Game podcast. You guys are into real estate. Would you mind plugging yourself one more time with your gym and where it's located? And thank you for your time.
Nah, listen, Mike, I appreciate you for having me, man. I appreciate it. Eddie Truck Gordon. You can hit me up on all social media platforms at Truck Gordon on Instagram, Facebook, my YouTube channel. I gotta get it going. I was monetized. I gotta get my YouTube back. I'm Truck Gordon 1 on YouTube. I am fortunate enough to be running a gym in Long Island, New York, Fit Fam NY, and I have a true gift. I get to wake up and do what I love every single day, helping other people find their love and happiness and health through fitness, So that's a blessing. And I'm going to be doing a lot more motivational speaking again this year. COVID slowed that down, but I've been getting a lot of positive impact about impacting and changing people's lives. So I want to continue to do that. My legacy is never going to be about how many fights I win, how many cars I drive, how many homes I own. It's going to be about how many lives I can impact and be a part of their legacy. And that's what my goal is on this earth. So, Mike, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to come on here. My guy, Nick, I love that guy. And you were doing an amazing job.
Yeah, everybody's got a story. This is here. We frame it for like it's a book. We try to tell your story. Like that's the best way to do it. And for me, not to research. If you do an interview where it's just like, all right, do here, go ahead, entertain me, that's insulting to the guest and the listeners. You can't. You got to do your research.
I appreciate you, man. Listen, you're great at what you do. Like, you literally reached out and you didn't jump on it. I get a lot of people that ask me to do interviews all the time, and you literally said, what day is good for you? You went and did your research. You said, I finished my research. Now I'm ready. You tell me when you're ready. That professional.
It have to be. So, Eddie, look forward to meeting you one day.
Done absolutely. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna get Nick to pay for it.
Absolutely. Yes, we will. That'll be my second lunch. Free lunch with Nick. Be good, man. Take care.
Right, champ.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is like where I title, like, share, and subscribe. All right, so I took a podcast workshop, okay? And of course, they don't ask you what it is you're doing or what kind of show. They just kind of like tell you, all of the truths that they know. I'm using their verbiage. And one, they said, never have a guest-oriented podcast. It will never work out. You'll never have the right amount of guests, and they're never going to be able to coordinate. So we're like 270 interviews in, and we've had a guest every single time. Two, they tell you, hey, during middle of the podcast, ask your listeners what city they're from, and they're going to mention it in the comments. Dude, I paid like $30 for this thing, and I got $30 worth of fucking shit. Like it was like the worst. Like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Hour I've had in a long time. So if you guys can like, share, and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm going to tell you this: our Spotify numbers are phenomenal. They're phenomenal. I'm real happy with them, and if you guys can keep sharing and liking and subscribing, YouTube, we're stalling on YouTube. I don't know what it is. Like, my clips get the exact same amount of views as my 2-hour interviews. And it's like, dude, I know we're being throttled. I can't figure it out. Changing the name of the podcast as well. MMA history. We're planting a flag. We're taking the entire genre as our name. I'd be in court if somebody else did that to me, because I wouldn't like wrap my head around it. Where is it at? I need to read some comments. Here it is. I'm going to read a couple comments that are fantastic that I got from you guys. Here it is. Robert Drysdale. Rob is a real one. Mike really does try. Got to give him that. Definitely naive on the UFC and Pride inception. That hurt. I'm going to continue. Likes the dogma of some regional stuff. Drysdale says it like it is. No books can detect his seminars. No books can detect his seminars. He put it straight up and let the channel know Gracie's are the reason why you are a unpaved MMA detective. That guy does mix words. All right. I don't know what a lot of that means. Listen, I barely graduated high school. I have a feeling that there's layers of insults in there that I just don't get. Fair enough. All I'm asking for, Joe EK6KG, whatever the pretend bullshit name you got going on. All I'm asking for is a 5-star review on Apple. Say whatever it is you want in the comments. Don't care. Comments on Spotify, things like that. That really helps out. If you guys could do that, I don't give a shit what you say about me. They're not from the South Side. We all got thick skin here. I'm bald. I'm 5'8". You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So, but anything you guys can do. And if you guys got a connection with the fighter, I got a couple guys out of Australia that are contacting me about Chris Weidman. I think that's going to come through. I'm following up with Jon Hackleman in regards to Glover Teixeira. I have a feeling that interview is going to come through after Pereira gets his fight. So we got some big things coming. We got a lot of good, fun little drops. We're about a month ahead. I'm going to try to set aside like a Patreon type thing where you can get the interviews up front. If you want to come in on our sessions where we brainstorm about ideas as well as exchange information about fighters, we're probably going to make that relatively cheap to where, anybody that wants to get involved with that, it'll be a couple dollars a month. And, where we just bullshit in regards to our MMA knowledge. So, man, guys, thanks. I really appreciate any comment, good or bad, on YouTube. Definitely helps the algorithm, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.